What's up, guys? Welcome to my podcast. I'm your host, Ethan Cope. This is the Contested Sports Podcast. I'm here again with Max on the left, Alex on the right. Today, we're going to be getting into the NBA, season, but more so like predictions, mid-season trades, extensions, everything around that. So we'll just get right into it because we've got a lot to talk about today.
Quite a lot.
Anyways, so today we're gonna start with our NBA predictions. So basically going over awards. So who do you guys think is gonna win Most Improved Player? Last year it was Pascal Siakam for the Raptors. Who do you guys think is gonna win this year? Alex,
Okay.
Max, doesn't matter who goes first.
Okay, I'll go. My player is Lonzo Ball of the New Orleans Pelicans. I just believe, even though he's had to be honest, he's had a very underwhelming career so far with Los Angeles.
Yeah,
but
especially for a second overall pick.
yeah, just for a second overall pick, he did have a subpar couple of years. But I do think him being in New Orleans, it will be a better situation for him. It also seems like he's kind of like drifted away from his dad, and a lot of that noise is like out of his way now. And I do think him in New Orleans system with Alvin Gentry, I also think the players that the Pelicans have are better suited to his style. So
Yeah, definitely, I agree.
I do think that Lonzo Ball, I feel like Shaw will continue to improve this year, but I think a big jump. He averaged 5.5 assists last year. I wouldn't be surprised to see that in the 8 to 10 assist range with all the talent that the Pelicans have this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to help a lot once Zion comes back because it was reported today that he's out 6 to 8 weeks. So that's going to suck,
Which is awful.
which that could end up being the first 2 months of the season. And the first 2 months, that changes a lot.
I thought Lonzo and Zion were like perfect.
Yeah, they look
Pairing
good together in
guard
the
forward.
preseason. But I just think that I think I saw Woj's like a snippet from a podcast where he had Lonzo on, and Lonzo was talking about how his dad isn't making his decisions anymore and that he's going to be focused on making decisions for himself. So I think that's going to help a lot because I think his dad has interfered way too much.
Yeah.
So
Basically,
yeah.
he could just focus on hooping now, what he's supposed to
exactly. And I think he can focus on himself, just getting a new shoe deal instead of big baller brand because obviously that didn't work out. So I could definitely see Lonzo winning it. What about you, Max?
Avery Brett. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No, for all the slander that we did last week, I'd have to say it's my pick is going to be Terry Rozier. But this, to be honest, is my weakest pick. So I'll give honorable mentions to Shea, Gilgeous-Alexander, Brandon Ingram, and Jason Tatum, just as honorable mentions. But for me, I'm going to have to choose Terry Rozier for this, for the sake of choosing just one player, because he is the face of an entire franchise now. I think his stats are going to have a huge boost. I think he's finally going to be able to shoot over 40%.
We'll see about that.
I mean, you know, he's...
You don't have to hate on him like that.
No, I'm just saying, like...
Just speaking facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think his stats will have a very decent increase. And if he's not most improved player, I think he'll definitely be, in that discussion. So
Yeah, he'll probably be, I would imagine at least, like, worst case, top, 5.
Yeah.
And I think he'll get around to, because he already put up decent stats as a backup in Boston, but I just feel like the only problem I have with Terry Rozier is that the Hornets are so goddamn bad.
Yeah.
They suck. Their lineup is terrible.
I know.
no, but also Terry Rozier wasn't logging huge minutes in Boston.
Yeah,
Not
and
huge.
he'll definitely
He's
get
kind
more
of in
minutes,
the 20s
yeah.
range. He's definitely going to play over 30. He got 1 steal a game just playing off of I think, was it low 20s, somewhere in the 20s?
Yeah, low to mid 20s.
Yeah, his steals are definitely going to go up. I think his points per game, he's probably going to get around 16 or 17. So I think he'll be decent.
Yeah.
But-
I feel like he'll hit that 20-point mark, but I'm just not sure
Oh, really?
how efficient.
Yeah, I could definitely
would
see
be.
him hit. Yeah.
Like I
that's
could see it in the
only
low
yeah.
40s.
The only problem is his shooting, because as a point guard and you're shooting below 40%, that's definitely something to worry about.
He is a plus defender though. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could see that happening. My pick is Zach LaVine, and I know that's really hard because he
That's a good
definitely
pick,
had a
though.
breakout
No,
year
that's a good
last
pick.
year. But I mean, he already scored 23 or almost 24 points per game, but I feel like the Bulls have so much young talent around them, and I feel like the Bulls have, aside from the Pelicans, probably one of the best young cores in the league. I mean,
I'd
Zach
say so.
LaVine.
Them, Atlanta.
Well, yeah, them,
Like, yeah,
Atlanta.
that
They're
whole-
definitely like top 3, but I think that Zach LaVine is in like the perfect situation, and he already did really well last year, but I think he can do even better. Like, I think he can get a few more rebounds, a few more assists, some more points, and I think his shooting is fine. It's definitely not something to worry about. I mean,
Well, I think there's a big emphasis for him to start shooting mid-range a lot more.
yeah, I
Which
think
I
so
think would be
too.
good.
But I mean, his field goal percentage last year, around 46, and then 37 from the 3 and 83 from free throw. I mean, I don't really see a problem with that. So I just think that
Yeah.
I think he has a lot to build on, and I think that Kobe White was a great draft pick, and I think Wendell Carter is going to improve a lot.
With Laurie Markkinen too.
Yeah,
Another
yeah,
Markkinen,
young-
now that he's healthy, hopefully for a
Yeah.
full year, cross his fingers.
And
but-
also, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, I think if Zach LaVine is going to be winning most improved, it won't because his stats had a huge increase. It'll just because he's going to take a lot more leadership of the team.
I think
He's
the
going
Bulls
to-
will be a lot better this year. too.
Yeah,
I think
and
that'll
also-
help a lot.
There's a lot of talk of him, trying to make that All-Star, that first All-Star appearance.
think
No, and
he's
in the
definitely-
East,
I
it's
think he-
definitely
yeah.
possible just because, like,
The
I mean,
East definitely isn't as
the
talented.
yeah,
as the
the
West.
talent
It's
is watered down in
lopsided.
the
Yeah.
East, and I'd say, I don't know, just off the top of my head, Zach LaVine's probably a top 5 shooting guard in the East.
I'd have to think
Yeah.
about it, but I think he definitely, if he's not,
Yeah.
he could be this year.
You got
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler,
Beal.
Bradley
Beal.
Beal.
Who else was there? Oladipo. when
But he's
back.
out.
Well, yeah, but in general,
Oh,
he
yeah.
goes better.
So like right now.
He definitely
Yeah,
has a
right.
chance to make
Yeah.
the All-Star team.
oh,
like you
I
said.
think he definitely can.
Yeah.
I think right now there's more likely than not he makes the All-Star team this year.
Yeah, and the Bulls are going to definitely be campaigning for him to do so. So
Yeah. So speaking of, where was I? I'm editing that out again. So how about your guys' rookies?
you don't have to say it.
Rookie of the year, Max. I'll start with you this time.
Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
I don't care that he's out for 2 months. He is very much going to, he already has the hype around him. And that is like half the battle is just getting eyes on you. Zion has the hype. I mean, his preseason stats were just insane. 23 points per game, 72% field goal percentage.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you're going to say. Most of those shots were from within 5 feet of the basket. But you know what? It just doesn't matter.
Alex, what about you?
Again, he's going to be out for 2 months, so I think that could hurt his chances, but I would still say Zion is the NBA Rookie of the Year. Just because his impact, keep going, it's all good.
Yeah.
Okay,
keep
cool.
going.
Just his impact coming out, he's going to be an elite defensive player. We already see that. Yes, all his shots come from inside, but if he's dominating, I don't care. So
Exactly, and he's a rookie. He's not supposed to have, a perfect repertoire of abilities just yet.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
He's just
and
the best in the draft class.
Yeah, and then again, the only knock on him is his shot, but we mentioned this in the last podcast. Like, it doesn't look ugly. It's not
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
not
very
like a-
situation. Like situation.
I don't even think it's that bad. I
He
think
shot
just needs-
33% in college.
I just think he needs to work on it a little
Yeah.
bit, but it's not. I think people definitely overreact to his shooting.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know people were hating when who did he drop? He dropped like 29 against like the Bulls or something
Yeah.
this
Oh, yeah.
preseason, and he was like 12 of 13, but they're all in the paint. Everyone was hating on that, but I really
Like, if
like
he's doing it.
if he's gonna get 29 points and then do it in the most
Oh,
effective
yeah,
way
yeah, no.
possible. Like I
course.
don't.
He's playing
I
to
don't-
his strengths, which is a really important thing to do.
And
yeah,
also, I think that'd be
especially
best.
as
Yeah.
a rookie.
And also, I think that'd be best for New Orleans because with the additions they got, like you put out JJ on the floor with Drew Holiday, and if Lonzo can improve his shooting, I mean, just let Zion dominate the paint and kick it out to the 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't mean to be so basic and so mainstream,
Yeah.
but it's gonna. Even though he's probably gonna miss the first month and a half or two, it's gonna be Zion.
yeah, it's
I just-
clearly the best
He's
it's
in the
gonna hurt
best
his chances.
situation. I said this last podcast. He has the best people around him, and I think the Pelicans are gonna be a pretty solid team this year.
Yeah, and I also
especially when Zion comes back.
yeah, I also think Alvin Gentry's actually a really good coach. I think he's like underrated.
Yeah, I think he's done well too. I think
he's done well what he's been given in New Orleans.
yeah,
Definitely.
I think that's the key
especially
thing
with
to
the
say.
whole situation with Anthony Davis last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he handled it pretty well.
and it as
obviously
well as you could.
They got JJ Redick this offseason. They got Derek Favors, who I think that was a very underrated move.
Yeah.
Because Derek Favors is solid, and they still have Drew Holiday. I just think Zion is in the best situation. Like
They also had
It's clear
two
and
other
obvious.
first rounders. I'm not like too into them, but if those two first rounders end up being something too for them,
Jackson Hayes and
Nikhil Alexander Walker.
I think they're good.
Yeah, they will have the best young core in the league if they actually turn out to be.
I think they already do right now.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I think their young core is the most potential.
yeah, definitely.
So
Hang on a second.
what's wrong?
I don't feel like I'm hearing you as well as I should.
Is it the
Talking
mic?
to the-
Hello, hello, hello. Check, check, 1, 2, check,
Is
check.
that better?
Yeah. So well, yeah,
Is that okay now?
Yeah.
Okay.
cool.
Okay,
Alright.
and return.
Oh my god. Sorry.
Edit all that out.
So
You need some Tums.
We
We
gotta
got to
get-
say Tums.
no, I don't need Tums. I just had like a burp coming in and it stopped. All right. Oh god. Hold on. Reset.
Hi, I'm Ethan Cove. Welcome to my podcast.
All right, so let's get into the next award, which is going to be Coach of the Year. I'll start this one. I think it's going to be Quinn Snyder. I think a lot of people think that, but I think he has so much to work with, and I think the Jazz are going to be a lot scarier of a team than last year. Last year, they were 50-32 as the 5th seed. So that's obviously pretty good, but I think his team is... I know they lost a couple people in free agency, but they got Bojan Bogdanovic in free agency.
Traded for
Mike Conley, which I think Mike Conley's a little old, but I still think Mike Conley's pretty
You
solid.
can produce.
Yeah, and he probably will be the leader of that team. I think Donovan Mitchell is going to be a lot better now that he has another year under his belt. I think maybe they were 50-32 last year. Probably like, I want to say like 55, 56, maybe 57 or
Are we
58
gonna
wins
go
this
into
year.
standings later?
Yeah, we will, but that's
Okay.
just my record
Yeah.
prediction
Okay.
right now. I just think I think he's in the best I think he'll be this year's Mike Malone.
I could see that.
Cuz Mike Malone obviously is still the coach of the Nuggets, but I just think that the Jazz are going to improve a lot, and I think that's going to help Quinn Snyder win this award. So what about you, Alex?
Same thing. Quinn Snyder, Utah Jazz. Like you said, I think I'm really like high on the Jazz. Like,
Yeah, the
I
Jazz-
think there's definitely a scenario where they do make it to a Western Conference Finals, and maybe
Yeah.
a Finals, as crazy as that sounds. But I just think their team was very well put together this year.
Yeah,
with
they
Mike
had-
Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bogdanovich, Ingles, and Gobert. First of all, Quinn Snyder's shown to be an elite defensive coach. The Jazz have had a top defense, and they added to that with Mike Conley. And Bogdanovich is not a sorry defender. He can hold his own. And I think the Jazz are going to grab a top 2 seed in the West. So I think that's definitely...
Hot take.
No, I don't see why
I don't
not.
think that's a
I-
hot
yeah,
take.
I don't think
All
that's a hot
it's
take.
It's a warm take. It's a
I
pretty
think, like,
warm
the
take.
It's like a
Nuggets,
lukewarm when you warm
It's not
something up for
lukewarm,
10
no.
seconds.
No,
it's
just
a
'cause
lukewarm
the same
take.
deal. The same deal with the Nuggets. Like most of their core is coming back intact. There wasn't major changes. They just added like a couple small but very impactful pieces, and I think Quinn Snyder's coaching will elevate that team to a 2nd seed, and I think he will be the coach of the year this year.
Yeah, I don't know about. I do agree that there could be a scenario to the Western Conference Finals, but I just think
I know it's tough. Yeah,
it's tough because the West is so stacked this year. I mean,
it also depends on Mitchell. If Mitchell
Yeah.
takes that next step,
if Mitchell takes that next step, I could easily see them making the Western Conference Finals. But if he has a year like last year where it was kind of down from his rookie year, then I feel like a lot is gonna depend on Mitchell's performance this
Yeah.
season. But I think Donovan Mitchell is gonna be good.
Yeah.
So. Max, what about you?
So I actually had Quinn Snyder, but
Did
then I
you-
changed it last minute last night. I had Quinn Snyder. I was going through Quinn Snyder or Mike Malone because Mike Malone was my choice last year. But this year, I'm going to have to go with your guy, Brad Stevens.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like the
Little
Celtics
bit-
appreciation.
Yeah. I hate
From
the
the Laker
Celtics, but
fan.
yeah, I'm trying to be
I like
as
the
objective.
I
At
like
least he
the,
didn't
I
choose
like the
Vogel.
Celtics.
So
Yeah, that would have been dumb.
Oh, I forgot about. No, change that.
I
real
don't.
quick. No,
I
I'm just
no.
kidding.
I don't think either of the LA coaches will win
Yeah.
Coach of the Year just because. Bro,
Talent.
if you can't take that team to like a top 3 seed in the West,
And
you
I think
suck
both-
at coaching.
I think both those teams.
I mean, obviously injuries happen, but
Yeah.
like if Doc Rivers and what's his name, Frank Vogel, can't take
Coach Vo.
like they, based on their talent, they should be the top 2 teams in the West, and there
should.
shouldn't be any excuses
Yeah.
except injuries.
They should. But before Max against the Brad Stevens, I think both LA teams are not going to be the winners of the regular season. I think there's going to be some load management there. I think LeBron, Davis, Kawhi are going to be missing games. So
We'll get into that.
Yeah, that's definitely going to hurt my fantasy.
So,
stock.
what else did you have to say, Max? Brad Stevens.
Brad Stevens, I think, is in a perfect position to rebound from last year's tropes. He has a very versatile team, which is what the Celtics kind of prided themselves on at the beginning of last season.
Yeah.
They can play to their full potential without Kyrie and Terry Rozier kind of tying them down. Not to shit on Terry Rozier any more than I already have, but like, I'm just, his shooting was very bad. Also, another thing though, Celtics very much believe in their rookies to produce valuable minutes, and they're really like boosting their
The
rookies.
Celtics have a completely. I'm not gassing them up because they're my team,
Yeah.
but they have a completely underrated young core.
shout out Carson Edwards.
Carson Edwards is that guy. Carson Edwards is that guy.
You're forgetting about Taco Fall over here.
Well, Taco Fall's in a 2-way contract this
Yeah,
year, and
Taco
he's going to
Fall's like
spend
the
most of
Boban.
his
Yeah,
time in the G League.
Yeah, but when he gets to the Celtics, just watch
Taco
out.
Taco
Just-
Fall's the next Boban.
Yeah, I mean he'll get thrown in there for like the fun minutes.
He's
so
gonna
the
end.
fans can
He's
get
gonna end his
excited.
NBA career with what is the? Doesn't Boban lead in like NBA history in like per?
PER?
Like,
Yeah, efficiency.
I
No,
hate
yeah,
that.
so
that
Brad
should not be a
Stevens-
thing.
So Brad Stevens has a very good track record with building rookies, as we've seen with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I think that tradition will carry on. Not only that, the odds are stacked against him. None of the coaches in the GM survey thought he was going to be.
Coach of the year.
Yeah, which we'll get into
But
later.
I don't think anyone also thinks the Celtics are going to be that good.
No, but that's the thing. I think they're going to be pretty good. I think they'll make it.
I think
Same as well. I think
They'll
you might be
pretty good.
surprised by what seed I put him in.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, same.
well, we'll get into
But
that.
anyways, as-
but Brad Stevens, I think, is gonna. What Brad Stevens' team was supposed to be last year is going to be his team this year.
I don't know
Yeah.
if they'll be this year just because last year they had like championship expectations.
I think if the Celtics, oh no, they won't win a championship.
Yeah,
at all.
that's why-
They
I think that's-
probably won't even make it to the second round.
I never thought they were going to win the
Best case scenario, they make it to the second round and lose.
And as much as Kyrie's a better player than Kemba, Kemba's a better fit for this team, obviously.
Kyrie
They
admitted
won
he
49 games last year or
yeah,
48?
Kyrie already admitted he basically gave up
Yeah.
on the team last year
But
and he
again,
wasn't
they
focused
won
on
48 or
basketball.
49 games last year. I think inserting Kemba instead of Kyrie will definitely get him into the 50 range.
Kemba's a lot
Wins.
Yeah,
cooler with
I
his
think maybe
mentality.
low. I think maybe low 50s.
Yeah, like
could
52, 53
Be, yeah.
up there. So
retweet.
All right. So what about your guys' sixth man? I have now it would be the 3-time champ Lou Will.
this man like Lou Will.
I feel like it's just a lock now. Like Lou Will is that guy. He's always the sixth man, and I don't think he'll ever stop being the sixth man of the year until he retires because he's that
Basically.
good.
They should just name the trophy after him.
Like after watching basketball for like 10 or so years since I started, there's not been a better sixth man than Lou Will. There just hasn't.
Yeah.
Who comes off the bench and scores 20 points? No one else does
He also
that.
did it in less than 30 minutes.
Exactly.
I feel like,
he
people
doesn't
like make it seem like he gets like 30 plus starter minutes. Like he doesn't.
sometimes.
Yeah,
I feel like
sometimes,
half the
but-
time he gets that, but half the time he's more in like the mid high 20s.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really have to explain it. Lou Will is just
Okay, so you don't have to explain it either, because
I mean, I'm just gonna say again, like I choose Lou Will. His stats might go down, obviously, with Kawhi and Paul George being there. But at the end of the
that was
day,
the only problem. That I
yeah.
was
But at the
thinking.
end of the day, I don't think you'll be able to say there was a more dominant or more impactful six man coming off the bench than Lou Will.
Yeah.
So-
It's just I don't know who else to choose besides. There's no one that really compares to him.
Just wait for my answer.
Okay.
So my sixth man of the year is between Lou Will and my pick. Like those are just the basic options. It's Spencer Dinwiddie, which he might be playing starter minutes,
pretty
so I
sure
might be
Spencer
disqualified.
Not even
Just-
start me. He might start. But I get you.
start.
I get you.
Anyways.
But yeah, so I
He was
might.
like my second.
This
pick.
might be a disqualified answer, but for now, I'm running with it. So I do think Lou Will is going to get less touches. I think that's going to hurt his stock a little bit. But Spencer Dinwiddie is going to get plenty of playing time. He's entering his prime. You know, he can be the one or the two, depending on if he is playing with Kyrie or Joe Harris, or even both. You know, there's definitely going to be
Levert too.
Levert.
He's in that.
There's going to be a, because KD is out, there's going to be kind of a void that everyone needs to fill with
And
scoring.
DeAndre Jordan is there, and Jared Allen.
Yeah, but I'm
As
I'm
much
talking
as I
about
love
scoring.
Yeah, as much as I love
scoring,
DeAndre.
scoring, yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, but I think there's going to be this void that KD left with his injury, where they need scoring. I think Spencer Dinwiddie will rise up and take a little bit of command. He's just all around. He's just an all around a really good player.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think Spencer Dinwiddie is going to be really good, but from what I've seen, I think he's starting, but I could be wrong. I'm just not sure if he's starting. So, what about your guys' defensive player of the year? Alex, I'll start with you this time.
I'm going for the second three-peat. And for my predictions, Rudy Gobert. At the end of the day, I just don't think there's a more dominant defender the way
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert impacts the game. As much as like you have like your Kawhi, PG on the wings, I don't know if they make more of an impact just because Rudy Gobert all around the blocks, the way he challenges shots, and he's just a huge man.
Yeah, I think it's time people start respecting Rudy Gobert
Yeah,
a little
and
bit more.
I could see a
think it's-
scenario.
I think this
yeah.
year he makes the All-Star team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want any slander because he cried or whatever. Like,
Nah,
let
no
him
slander.
be.
I could see a scenario where he doesn't win it. I think that there's someone in the city of Los Angeles that might win it, but I still think Rudy Gobert will be
I think there are a few people in the city
In
of
the
Los
city of
Angeles
Los
that could
Angeles.
win it.
in the city. Yeah. So
no, I
yeah.
couldn't imagine that.
I
think
I still give the edge to Gobert. I just think
Yeah.
he's such a dominant, just big body on the defensive side, and Utah's going to be a great team again.
Yeah.
I could see that.
My pick is Giannis this year. I think that there are a lot of people, and it was tough because I know Rudy Gobert is a great defender, and I think Anthony Davis has fantastic defensive numbers, but I think this year is going to be Giannis, and even though it's kind of hard to top last year because he won MVP, but I think his defensive numbers are going to improve. I think all of his numbers are just going to improve even more this year. And I think he's just, now that people recognize what he can do, and I think I would assume that he's worked on his jump shot, which doesn't really have anything to do with defense. But I just think that Giannis is just going to improve in like all categories this year. So what
Definitely
about
one
you?
of the top three perimeter
Yeah.
defenders with Kawhi and PG.
Yeah, and he's just, dude, he's built like no other person in the NBA.
He's the demigod 2K.
jacked, and his wingspan is like, I want to say like
10
over
feet or something like
yeah, I don't know.
13 feet.
Okay, not that long, but he's
He has-
long. He's long. Like he bullies people. It's just
His
I
arms
just-
are like canoe oars. They're just like
he's like a goddamn airplane. He just
Yeah, I know.
he stretches out.
He's like KD, but like built.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has Kevin Durant's body, but jacked.
Yeah.
And I think that's gonna lead him to winning Defensive Player of the Year. So what about you, Max?
Anthony Davis. Yeah, it's gotta,
In the city of Los Angeles.
It's got to be Anthony Davis just
Hey,
because.
dude.
I mean, he's just so dominant defensively. We've known that. Like you said, I mean, Rudy Gobert is a very good choice. I think he'll be second, obviously, but I mean, Anthony Davis is in the position where he wants to be right now, and it just only motivates him more. I have a quick hot take. He's going to average close to, or actually average 3 blocks a game.
The only
That's a lot.
just say-
That's
no,
a
the only reason
lot.
that-
No, in 2K, I was able to do it.
no,
so
the,
I'm
the
just
only reason I
saying.
say that's
Okay,
tricky,
no.
not because I don't think Anthony Davis
I
can't
get 3
do
blocks
that.
per game with my point guard in 2K. How the hell does that make sense?
It's not that I don't think Anthony Davis can get 3 blocks per game. I just don't know if he will be able to get that, just because they also have JaVale and Dwight as rim protectors.
Well,
Yeah, but also, and then you also have to. I think Anthony Davis has a huge mindset on defense this year, and you guys might laugh at me, but one of the reasons why I think he's going to win it is because he said he's going to win it. I believe, he's a superstar, and when you have that superstar mentality, you gotta believe them sometimes when they say and they say what they mean.
I guess. but-
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, I
last
guess,
year
but-
he averaged 2.4 blocks, 1.6 steals, and when you're averaging 4 blocks and steals per game,
He averaged 4 blocks last year.
no, I mean
Who's-
blocks and steals. He averaged
Oh,
2.4
okay.
blocks and 1.6 steals last
You
year.
mean
Yeah.
4 put together?
Yeah, if you're averaging 4 blocks and steals total per game, that's
Man,
pretty
he's a
hard to
center.
argue against.
I think
that.
he can get maybe a little.
I feel like centers. I feel like this is a center award.
Yeah, no, but also just Anthony Davis. I understand he doesn't want to play
Unless
center,
you're-
but like he's a center to me.
I mean, not really a center award.
No, I can see him as either one.
Who?
honestly.
Anthony Davis?
Yeah, I can see him as center or power forward.
I think he'll probably be. Wouldn't he be more power forward?
Yeah,
I mean, is
He
Kuzma
wants to.
starting?
he's starting with JaVale, I think.
Anthony Davis is or
Yeah,
Kyle
so
Kuzma
he's at
is?
power forward.
Oh, okay.
I think Kuzma might be coming off the bench.
Yeah, it might be
this
6
year.
man,
Oh, really?
unless they run a big
Huh.
lineup with LeBron at point guard.
That would. I mean, I could see them running a big lineup and having Kuzma as like small forward and LeBron at shooting guard.
Point. He would run point.
Yeah, never mind.
He's always been running point his whole career. He's just that small forward.
Well, that is gonna do it for all the awards. So right now we're just gonna what? Oh yeah, we missed MVP, the most important one. Oh shit. All right, so God, I hate to do this because it's just gonna gas Max up so much. But my MVP pick is Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
It's just
Wow.
That's a hot take.
no, it's not.
So you have to have
I
him
don't
getting a
think it's
top
a hot
seed in the
take.
West, then, huh? Or you don't think?
Yeah,
it would
but I think the
matter?
Lakers can do that. I think that's if the Lakers aren't a top 3 seed in the West, then something kind of went wrong in the regular season. But I just think
Oh my
that
God, there's so much that can go wrong.
I disagree with that, but
Anthony
so
Davis
much that
is
can
so
go wrong.
injury prone.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying, but
Did
I
you see the list
disagree.
of everything he's injured?
I think he's
There's
injured,
like 20 different parts of his body that he's injured. And it goes everything from
Hey,
like shoulder to
knock on
toe.
wood, y'all.
Yeah, knock on
Yeah,
wood.
knock on wood. Not wishing anyone injuries, but that's just a little bit of a concern. I mean, LeBron got injured last year, and now he's in his 17th year.
It's just the
Like,
mileage on him.
It's
But
yeah.
I think he'll be fine this year. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. First injury his whole career.
Yeah, no, I agree, but
I feel like you guys are being so nice to me right now because I'm a Laker fan.
I'm
Like,
just,
No.
I'm just taking off my Clipper blinds. I could be objective.
okay.
yeah, I mean, there's not really much of an explanation. I mean, he's in the best situation. I mean, coming back.
And the
I think
offense is playing through
I
him.
think a lot
Are
of
you
people.
sure about that?
Yeah, I do.
No,
I
Anthony
don't
Davis
think-
is definitely the number one option. I think LeBron's
Yeah, yeah.
load
We'll see
management is
about
going to
that.
be.
I don't know.
I just think that Anthony Davis is finally in a position where he can succeed. And he already put up good numbers with the Pelicans, but they won like one playoff series the whole time he was there. And I just think that with the Lakers and everything, I think the Lakers are going to be a top team in the West. And I think what a lot of people forget about is that Anthony Davis is probably the best. I mean, probably the
Say
best
it.
big man in the league.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to hear.
I want to say he's better than Giannis, but I'm not sure yet just because he was so injured last year and
Not
Giannis
even-
obviously won. I don't
Giannis is
really
I
know.
another
wouldn't
big
say
man.
he's better than Giannis just because I've seen Giannis lift his team to places that Davis couldn't.
but
Better.
Okay,
you know,
Bucks
better,
also
but-
had a better team.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm saying if
But I understand what you're saying.
I think
yeah.
Davis. I don't think Davis could be a number one option on a championship team. I think he's like a peak number 2. I mean, he had Drew Holiday, he had Nikola Mirotic, he had DeMarcus Cousins. Like he had talent around him. I mean, if he's
was
that,
it really him though that was dragging them down?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I
as a
don't
number one
think
option.
I don't think he's a franchise changer that lifts.
He's not the leader of a franchise,
Yeah.
but he's definitely the number. Because LeBron's definitely the leader, but
yeah.
I think he's.
I
I
just
mean,
think-
him and LeBron are basically tied for the number one option. I feel like that's pretty obvious.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Max, what about you? He chose Anthony Davis.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
Yellow Ferrari like Pikachu. Dreamville is the golden state of ramen. Chef Curry with the shot, boy. I'm going with Stephen Curry as my MVP for this season.
Corny ass.
Yeah, that was. It's all right. It's all right.
No, it's fine. I don't care because I'm gonna be right. So let's
Put
just
some
paint
dew
the
on it.
picture. Let's just paint the picture of the situation that Stephen Curry is in right now. He is he is the number one shooter on his team. You know, he doesn't really have much help going in besides Draymond and that other
I
guy.
think he has a
D'Lo.
decent amount of help.
What?
Really,
Decent? No.
I think Draymond and D'Angelo around him, but after that, there's like a
Well,
drop
Willie
off.
There's a
Cauley
big
Stein
drop.
is going to be the center once he's healthy again.
but he's not like a big offensive presence. Like
I know, but Willie Cauley Stein's still pretty good.
okay,
He's solid, but
I
like,
feel
there's
like
a reason he was.
I
on the
feel
free
like if
agent
your
market so
starting
long.
lineup is Steph, D'Lo, Draymond, and Willie Cauley Stein, that's pretty damn good. And I'm
yeah, but
pretty
they're
sure
bench.
from what I saw today, Marquise Chris is starting at small forward.
small forward.
Yeah.
Holy.
So, I
Yikes.
don't know why Draymond is still a goddamn power forward because he's 6'5".
Yeah, but he played.
The way he plays is
But yeah, no, I agree. But I do think Steph Curry is the number one option, clearly, like he was before Kevin Durant got there.
hold on. I got a whole bunch of stuff to say. Let me just
All right.
no, because I did an extensive amount of research on this because I really believe Steph Curry can be the MVP. I don't think the Warriors are going to place that high in seeding, but
I don't think so either.
we've learned from Russell Westbrook that doesn't really matter.
That was a pity MVP.
Hot take.
Okay, continue.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm gonna let that slide though.
What?
Russell Westbrook's MVP was a pity MVP.
No, it was
No,
okay,
no,
but I
no.
think a lot of people felt bad because
he averaged 30, 10, and 10,
Yeah.
and his
Not
team
the
made the
best
he made the
efficiency.
playoffs with Victor Oladipo wasn't good yet.
Yeah.
No, okay, but
Go on with
here's
Steph.
yeah, okay. So offensive ratings all around him go way up when he's on the court. The Warriors were 30-2 in games that Curry played, but Durant sat. During the 2019 postseason, Curry averaged 23 points, 5 assists, 44% field goal percentage. Blah, blah, blah. After Durant was injured, Curry's stats go all the way up. And let me just point out, he was averaging 23 points before Durant was injured. He was averaging 35 points after Durant was injured. His both percentages for field goal and three-point went up 5%. In 2016, Curry averaged a career-high 30 points per game, over 50% field goal percentage, and then Durant joined the team that all went down. Now Curry has the team to himself. And I heard this on The Ringer. I don't know how true this is, but it said that Curry averaged 38 points per game when Klay and KD were not playing. Curry might hit 60 points this season. Some people might say 70.
He'll probably hit it once. I
Yeah.
would not be
I wouldn't
surprised
even
at
call
all
that
if
a
he
hot
hit it.
take.
Yeah,
Like
no.
if you told me Steph's gonna drop 60,
No,
if
no,
you
no,
told me
it's not-
Steph's gonna drop 70 in one game this year, I'd believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's a lukewarm take, but also Curry has plenty of prime
I think it's
left
just
in
a
his game.
take.
Okay, whatever. Curry has plenty of prime left in his game. The numbers seem to indicate that he is only if he's not going to get better and better, he's going to stay at where he is,
Yeah.
which is an elite point guard. And I don't know, it's going to be super hard to guard him again this year.
I mean, wasn't he already averaging close to like 30 last year?
yeah.
Something like that. But no, wasn't he average like 25?
I thought he was
Sure.
close to 30 for a while.
Let's see.
I'll look
No,
it up.
because
but
Paul George was second in scoring and he averaged 28.
Yeah.
no, yeah,
Paul
so
George was second in scoring.
Last year.
Curry
yeah.
had 27. So yeah, he was pretty close, but like
That's
that
pretty
was
good.
with that was
especially-
as the
yeah,
second.
with Kevin Durant.
Exactly. So you can see him score 30 or more this season.
Yeah, I would not. I don't think he's not my pick for MVP, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if he won it this year.
The only reason he's not my pick, I just don't think the Warriors are gonna be good enough for him to be the MVP.
Speaking
Yeah.
of which,
So my MVP, I guess. my MVP going back to back. Giannis Antetokounmpo averaged 27.7 points last year, 12.5 rebounds, and 6 assists. I believe the Bucks are going to get the number 1 seed again. Them losing Malcolm Brogdon, that puts the ball in Giannis's hand much more with Brogdon gone, so he's going to take more of the playmaking duties. I could see a jump in points.
Wasn't Brogdon injured a lot last year though?
Was he? I don't know.
I don't know.
I thought he was like
I don't
injured
know.
come
I know he
playoff
wasn't
time.
in the playoffs.
He came back
Yeah.
in the playoffs eventually.
Oh well.
Anyways,
whatever,
I
never
think
mind.
Giannis is just gonna have a dominant season again. And like I said, I think the Bucks are gonna get the 1 seed again in the East. He's clearly the number 1 option. He'll put up the crazy numbers, and I don't know if I'm not saying he's gonna start like just popping threes coming down the court, but I do think
Yeah.
you'll see an improvement in his jumper. I mean, he shot 25% from 3 last year. I could see that going up and 30% at least. So
Yeah, I get that. So
I concur.
let's get in. Let's get into the playoffs because obviously that is
Sorry,
the most
Russell.
important part.
Are we going to be using the whiteboards for this one?
No, we won't.
Oh, okay, cool.
We're gonna be using it for our next segment though.
Oh, okay,
Anyways.
cool.
All right, I'll start with this one. I think that. Do you guys want to go 1 through 15, or do you just have 1 through 8?
I just
1
have
through-
1 through 8.
Of 1 through
Okay.
8.
Yeah.
Well, my 1 through 8 for the Eastern Conference next year is 76ers, Bucks, Nets, Pacers, Celtics, Pistons, Raptors, Bulls. And then my Western Conference 1 through 8 is Lakers, Clippers, Jazz, Nuggets, Rockets, Trailblazers, Warriors, and then the Pelicans take the 8 seed over the Spurs.
Ooh.
That is my one bold prediction for the playoffs come next year. Because I know the NBA, the teams don't change around much, especially like the NFL and the MLB. But I mean, there's always a
In the
couple
playoffs,
teams.
they do. It's just the finals.
Yeah. Well. Anyways, it was so hard to choose between the Pelicans and the Spurs because whether the Spurs made it like 22 years in a row and their coach is still Greg Popovich, but
I'm just not counting them out. I have them in the playoffs. Like I was thinking Mavs or Pelicans. Maybe if Oklahoma keeps Chris Paul and Danilo Gallinari, I think they could be an 8 seed team. But I just roll with the Spurs.
all right. So who do you have for your 1 through 8?
I'll start in the East like you did. My number 1 seed is Milwaukee. 2nd seed Philly. 3rd seed Boston. 4th seed Brooklyn. 5th Miami. 6 Pacers. 7 Raptors. And the thing with the Raptors, if they do keep everyone like Lowry, Ibaka, and Gasol past their trade deadline,
solid team.
Yeah, they're still a
I have
solid
them at
team,
7
but-
as well.
I see that there's a real chance that Masai will just like throw off the expiring contracts and gain future assets because like let's be real, that team isn't going anywhere
Yeah,
with that
because
much money tied up.
I've seen a few trade rumors of Kyle Lowry
Yeah.
and like some other teams getting
And also,
involved.
I think there's
which
gonna
we'll
be
get
like
into,
the
but
post Kawhi like hangover.
yeah,
So, and then for my 8 spot, I just went with the Magic. I wanted to say Pistons, but I just don't think the Pistons have enough around Blake, Derrick Rose, and Drummond to really make some noise. So I just gave it to the Magic. trying to think. Was it,
You got Bobby Schmurda too. You got to remember that.
who did you have as your 8 seed, Ethan?
I had the Bulls as my 8 seed.
Oh, over
That's
the
that's
Magic.
kind of a hot take, a little bit.
yeah,
yeah.
a little bit, but I
Yeah.
think they're very capable in a weaker Eastern Conference.
Okay.
So,
So now the West. I have Denver as the 1st seed,
ooh.
Utah as the 2nd seed,
Whoa.
Los Angeles Clippers as the 3rd seed, Lakers 4th, the 5th Houston Rockets.
I see. Like he has so many
I was
notes for the
watching-
Lakers.
I was watching Max's
Yeah.
face the whole
Well,
time. he
Not
was
really.
saying that.
I mean, like I said, I don't
Anyways.
think the LA teams are gonna win the regular season. I don't think both those
I
guys.
could see that happening.
I don't think
but
both those teams care about. I honestly don't think both those teams care about having home court advantage in the first round. Like if they make the playoffs, they'll be.
Oh, it won't matter where they're
It won't
playing.
matter. Houston, I have as the 5th seed.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and you talked about the Wesker trade last episode. I thought that was like, I don't think switching Westbrook for CP3 is gonna make the Rockets that much better, in my opinion. So I could get into those.
I think there's going to be more chemistry, and I think Russell Westbrook is.
I think
10
there'll be more
times better than
chemistry, but
CP3.
I mean, if you look at the stats when CP didn't play with Harden, he averaged 22.5 points with 12 assists. Westbrook regressed last year shooting, so I think Westbrook and Harden are more buddy, but I don't think Westbrook's a better fit next to Harden than Chris Paul is.
I can see that.
6, Portland. I just think Portland lost a lot of wings. They lost Seth Curry, Aminu. They lost Cantor. So, I don't know.
We don't know when Nurkic is coming
Yeah,
back.
I think Whiteside will hold it down, but
Yeah.
I think the Blazers take a step back this year from the 3rd seed.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Blazers definitely lost a lot of their bench,
Yeah.
I think they'll
which
take a
what
step
people
back.
don't realize, but the bench is very, very important.
Yeah.
I think they'll
Like,
take
who's
a
their
step
starting
back,
small
but it's
forward?
not. I don't.
I don't even
Rodney
know.
Hood, probably.
I guess.
I would think so.
No, but I don't think they'll take that far of a step back. It's just more like everyone else around them got so much better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is why I said I think they'll take a step back because everyone else improved like much more than they did. So
Yeah.
It'll see.
I have the Warriors as the 7th seed. I think
agree.
they'll make the playoffs as a low seed. Like I said, after you go from Steph, Russell, and Draymond, I don't think there's that much talent on this team. But if Klay comes back come postseason, that's going to be a very scary 7th seed that you probably wouldn't want to play in the first round.
Yeah, that's why.
So,
yeah,
Yeah, and
I don't think if Clay is back for the playoffs, it doesn't matter where the Warriors
Yeah,
are seated.
so
They're going to be a scary
That's
team.
why I don't think the Warriors would care where they're seated. The LA teams, I think the teams that would care more about seeding are like the Nuggets, the Blazers, the Jazz.
the teams with a little less experience,
yeah.
except the Blazers.
Yeah.
And then San Antonio 8, just because
San Antonio.
they're
How
San
can you
Antonio.
go against Greg Popovich?
Yeah, Greg Popovich, the coach he is, and like I said, I think the 8 seed will be fought for by OKC, Dallas, and New Orleans.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if this was a hot take, but I just think Denver and Utah are going to be the number 1 and 2 seed, just because they have continuity together and they're going to be ready to go from the jump. So, yeah.
Yeah. So what about you, Max?
So let's start-
the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, let's start with the East. So for number 1, I have the Bucks. 2, 76ers. 3, your Boston Celtics. 4 and 5, I was kind of, switching up. I said the Nets. I think the Nets have a stronger chance at being number 4, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were 5. And I also put the Raptors.
At 5. Ooh.
Yeah.
The
I don't-
Raptors at 5?
Yeah, because I don't think that they're going to be all that bad. Because Pascal Siakam, I think, is going to make a huge leap forward this year again. I think he's going to be averaging points in the 20s. Kyle Lowry's going to be good. I mean, they also played great without Kawhi. Of course, they lost Danny Green, so you have to knock them for that. But
Yeah.
overall, I
Yeah.
don't think they're going to be
The
that
thing
much worse.
The thing is, Rondé Hollis Jefferson and Stanley Johnson is such a significant drop off from Kawhi and Danny Green.
that's
know.
why
I don't even know how that's.
Well, that's why I had them from the 2nd seed last
They
year
were the-
to the
Were they a 2nd seed last
They were
year?
Yeah, they were behind
from
the
the 2nd
Bucks.
seed
Yeah.
last year to the 5th
Yeah.
seed, but I still think they can hold it down.
Yeah.
Morale is still high over there, even though they lost Kawhi. So for number 6, I have the Heat, because I think the Heat they've greatly improved. I think Spoelstra's had the best team he's had in a few years now. Jimmy Butler's is the guy again, and he's proud to be the guy again.
Yeah.
I think best case
they have really
scenario
good-
for them is a top 3 seed. I wouldn't be surprised if they finished as the 3rd best team.
I'd
I
be
would be surprised.
surprised,
I'd
but-
be
I
surprised,
think
but
they're really
I
good.
think they can make. I'm so iffy between the Pistons and the Heat because I feel like the Pistons. What were they? The 8th seed last year?
Yeah.
They were.
No,
Yeah,
8th.
they were the 7th.
Orlando was the 7th. They played
Oh
Toronto
yeah,
in the first round.
The Pistons
Oh.
were the 8. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, I mean they have like the same team as last year, and I don't think many teams in the East got that much better. But I mean, it could be the Heat. The only thing I worry about is Jimmy Butler, because I know Jimmy Butler is gonna start complaining and stuff if they start losing.
I don't.
But the thing about the Pistons is they could trade Blake Griffin.
I get. Did
There
Jimmy
have been
complain
so
in
many-
Philly though?
I mean, no, but
I just think he'd,
Philly worked out.
like
he
I'd
had
be
a
mad if I
role.
was.
I saw
Jimmy-
something in that Jimmy Butler started, like the whole thing in Minnesota started was when Andrew Wiggins signed a max
Yeah, as he
contract.
should. How are you gonna pay Andrew Wiggins before you pay Jimmy
Chill.
Butler?
We're
Oh,
still,
yeah.
we're still
Come
talking
on.
about the playoffs
I know.
over here.
Yeah,
The
but I'm
two
just
roles aren't
saying,
even-
Jimmy Butler, that you have all the right to be mad
Yeah.
that Andrew Wiggins got a max.
As
Before
if
you
the
did.
Heat, I mean, Deion Waiters just got suspended for a game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one game.
I know.
They're going to be
but-
sixth. And then I have the Pistons as seventh, and then Pacers as eighth.
The Pacers is an 8th seed?
I just don't think they're going to be all that good. I mean, when is Oladipo coming back?
Like I saw like February, but I think they have a good enough team to hold it down.
Still, but that's
Sabonis, Turner, Brogdon, T.J. Warren because the Suns are stupid.
that's pretty good. But T.J. Warren also, like, he was
Jeremy
on the Suns
Lamb.
before. Yeah, they have a decent team. It's
Yeah.
just I feel like, all right, I'll give them this. They might be 7th seed, but I don't think they're going to place very high.
Well, I saw today that Oladipo is actually ahead of schedule.
Yeah,
He
I
started
saw-
doing
I've-
5-on-5 workouts.
I've seen a lot of conflicting reports on Oladipo.
oh damn,
Because I just saw,
might
I
be
just
wrong.
I just saw today that Victor Oladipo is ahead of schedule and that he started 5-on-5 workouts.
Did he start? I
So-
think that he was cleared to do it. I don't know if he started.
Well, yeah, cleared or
Yeah.
whatever. I think cleared. But anyways, I think that Victor Oladipo will be back sooner rather than later, and I think that the Pacers can get a solid seed in the East.
if he does come back, I'll put them like somewhere between the Heat and the Pistons. Like those three, I think will scrap for the bottom.
I would
three
say
in
if
the East.
Oladipo was starting game 1 of the regular season, I'd have him as my 3 seed.
Yeah, I could see that definitely.
They were a 3 seed before he got hurt last year.
I think
Yeah,
the Nets are going to be the 3 seed just because they're very well built, and I
Yeah.
think if Kyrie's actually focused this year, then I don't know, but we'll see. So what about the rest?
the West. So number 1, I don't know. Number 2, I don't know. Basically 1 through 7, I don't know. Except number 8 is the Spurs.
That's what I do think 1 through
Um,
7 is like a lock, and then you kind of give the Spurs.
Yeah, 1
just
through.
'cause
So
they're
basically,
Spurs.
the only difference is the Lakers are taking the Thunder's place.
Yeah,
in
the only problem that I have with my pick now is that I didn't realize Zion would be out for
2 months.
the first 2 months of the
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
basically. So
but
I
even
think
that, I would still put the Spurs in. I don't know.
Yeah,
like
no, just
experience.
because the Spurs
Yeah.
are just the Spurs, and they were supposed to miss the playoffs last season.
and
then-
Murray's coming
and-
back.
Right, they were supposed to miss
and
the
they got
playoffs last
DeMar
season. They were
Carroll
supposed
as a
to miss
bench
the
player
playoff.
or whatever. I don't
They
know
were
what he's
supposed to
gonna
get
be playing.
Marcus Morris. That would have been a good pickup.
That would have been a
great pick.
great,
Yeah,
that would have been
but-
a very solid pickup. I don't know why.
No, but I
he
mean,
decided
Clutch
to back
Sports.
out.
The last 2 years, people keep counting out the Spurs, and they just shatter expectations and just squeeze in through the playoffs. I don't think they'll make it far.
They
but-
almost beat the Nuggets last year.
I had them to beat the Nuggets. I knew they were going to a Game 7.
Yeah, I had a feeling they would beat the Nuggets last year too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if I had to choose, I guess Nuggets 1, the LA teams take 2 and 3. I'm not sure which one. Obviously,
You know
depends
what
on
that
how
means.
load
They
management
meet in the
goes.
second round.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Ooh.
4th seed would be Utah. 5th. Who else is there?
What do you think about Houston? Do you really
Houston.
think? Do you think
I think Houston will take the 5th seed, and then
Yeah, I have Houston
Warriors.
at 5 too.
Portland.
Colin Coward had Houston missing the playoffs? That was
I
crazy.
saw
Did
that.
you saw the
His,
list?
oh my god, it
think-
was awful.
I thought
If-
that was
if
a
they
fine list,
miss
except
the
for the
playoffs-
Mavs, for the Rockets.
I
if
don't
it's
think that-
halfway through the season and they're not in the looking to make the playoffs, Mike D'Antoni is out.
Yeah, he's basically he's a lame duck coach. He only has
Yeah.
1 year left on his deal.
If they start like they did last year, there could definitely be some problems with the Rockets. All right. Anyways, so the 2019-2020 NBA GM survey was released earlier this week. So I want you guys to get out your whiteboards, and I want you guys to write your best player at each position: point guard, shooting guard, etc. So we'll take some time to do that.
Point guard Patrick Beverly.
Shooting guard Avery Bradley.
Small forward Jason Tatum.
We need to stop.
Is Harden a shooting guard? No, we're not putting
Yeah.
Harden in. Are we?
That's what he was
Okay,
at
that's what
in
he was
the
listed at.
GM
Fine.
survey.
Fine.
I don't want to put Harden, but I think I have to.
Who else are you going to put? Kobe?
I mean, I
I don't-
would. I totally would. But you guys would clown me.
He'd probably be more effective than Avery Bradley if he came out of retirement.
All right, what position are we counting Anthony Davis for? Power forward?
Power forward because he refuses otherwise. No, but he likes to play power forward, so.
Center, JaVale McGee. No, I'm just kidding. I totally saw JaVale McGee. That was pretty cool.
Are we counting Giannis as a small forward or power forward? Because I looked at your power
Well, in
forward.
the
Oh, I
GM
put-
survey, he was listed at power forward.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
You guys have your stuff down?
Yes.
All right. So the original survey, the GM survey, said their starting five would be Steph, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis, and Nikola Jokic. I gotta say, the only thing I would change, and I hate that I'm giving the Lakers so much love, the only thing that I would change is LeBron at small forward. LeBron had, sure, he had injuries last year, but LeBron is the GOAT of this generation, and he, on a quote-unquote off year, he averaged 27, 8, and 8. That's ridiculous.
Okay.
And I
will
know
s-
he's not as good as a defender as Kawhi Leonard, but I just don't think you can take away from him just yet.
I don't think you could take away from his whole career, but if we're taking into account who was the better small forward this past, yes, LeBron averaged 27. What was it? 27, 8, and 8. In the games he started, they were 28 and 27. I don't want to hear any of the he was still injured because
That
came-
wasn't.
he
It
came
wasn't
back.
100% his fault though. Like,
No, it
he
wasn't
did-
100% his fault, but they did lose games to the Suns, the Grizzlies, the Hawks.
Oh, don't
And
remind
those
me.
are
Don't remind
those
me.
were the games where LeBron.
Alex, stop!
No,
You're giving me
no.
flashbacks.
Those were the games that LeBron would usually just pull out of nowhere when he was unclear. I just don't think he had the same impact last year.
God, I
Yeah.
totally
So-
forgot that happened.
That's why. So
They lost to the Hawks
Yeah.
too.
So-
Oh my god!
when they lost to the
Yeah.
Hawks. Oh
And
my
they got
god.
blown out by the. I was at your house when we watched them just get
Oh
obliterated.
my
by
god, the
Pacers.
Pelicans kicked their.
was
Oh
the
no, the
Pacers.
Pacers
Yeah,
completely. It was like by 30 or something.
it was. At
The
one point,
Pacers
it was 40.
At one point, it was 40. The Pacers just completely kicked their ass.
Oh my god!
and the thing
I
was,
remember that so well because we were playing 2K or something, and then we turned the game on, and
We just went.
Dude,
I
it
wanted to go
was
right back to
Okay.
2K.
bad.
And
it
yeah,
was
and
so
the thing-
bad.
It was all downhill.
I
in
still have
terms of my
Kawhi.
life.
Yes, he was the Finals MVP. Obviously, if you don't want to give him credit for beating the Warriors, that's cool. But he still beat the MVP. He still beat Philly, which was a stacked
No,
lineup.
I still give him credit
Yeah.
for being the Warrior. I don't care if Kevin Durant got Clay didn't get injured until the last game.
Yeah.
No,
And
but
also-
also
and-
Philly was.
Yeah, and
he was
I want to
just
say
playing
Kawhi's
amazing.
playoff stats. He averaged 30.5 points, 4 assists, 9 rebounds, shooting 49% from the field, 38% from 3, 88% from the free throw line. His playoff high games and points were 45 points, 17 boards was his highest rebound game. I just don't think that based on the season LeBron had last year, you could put him above Kawhi after the season he just had.
Are there any other changes that you had?
The only other change I had Steph, Kawhi, Giannis. The only other change I had at center was Embiid.
Okay.
I think when Embiid
Max,
is healthy,
I see you
he's
have
the most-
Joel Embiid as
yeah.
well.
I just think when Joel Embiid is healthy, he's by far the most dominant big man in the game. Yes, Jokic is a beast, also MVP candidate. But if you ask me if Embiid's healthy, there's no other center I want in the game. Maybe even big man. So there you go.
Steph, Harden, LeBron. I'm gonna have to say LeBron just because we're in LA. I'm a Lakers fan. I'll say I'm a little biased towards that, but yeah, he did put up stellar numbers. Obviously, the team didn't perform that well, but I think this year LeBron is well rested. He's it's a completely new mentality, and LeBron is ready to go. Like he's looked great
Is
in the
he playoff
preseason.
mode activated? Or-
No, Stop with that. I don't want to talk about that right
Are you considering this a warning?
I don't know. I apologize on behalf of the Lakers Twitter account. But at power forward, I put Giannis because he had an amazing season. I don't think there's much I need to say about that. And center, I'll have to agree with Alex on this one. Joel Embiid dominated by far. You know, Jokic is great, and he's great and all. He's a very unconventional center. But at the end of the day, Joel is more dominant. And, you know, he can get you like 40 and 20. You know, he will do whatever it takes to win the game. And
Yeah.
he just has that slight edge over Jokic defensively.
Yeah.
Obviously defensively. Yeah.
I could see why. I just think Jokic brings another part of his game, like passing, that no other center brings. And I think that's what helps the Denver Nuggets a lot.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of topics that the GMs went over, so we're not going to go over all of them. But I'm just going to ask you guys if you agree or disagree with the following ones. So we already went over best player at each position. And the GMs voted that the Clippers made the best overall moves this offseason. Do you guys agree or disagree? Max?
Oh, wait, are we doing is this Cap?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
It's my show in Virgo.
Hold on.
I'll go.
Well, since we're screwed it up anyway. All right, Max, what do you think?
What's just okay? Agree or disagree that they won the offseason?
Yeah.
I'll probably agree.
Alex?
I mean, I would agree. Obviously, they got like Kawhi, PG, big thing, but they were able to bring back Patrick Beverly, JaMychal Green, Zubac. They were able to trade for Mo Harkless. So I think them adding PG and Kawhi was big, but usually when you add those two big guys, a lot of your depth gets like eaten up. And I think they did an extremely good job of keeping basically the same team intact except for Shane Gallo. So
Yeah, and I think also I think they did an excellent part. I mean, they traded a lot for Paul George, and somehow the Thunder didn't even get. They got 2 players, and the rest were picks.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the Thunder didn't ask for more players.
well, if they asked for
Or
more
they
players, they
probably
probably
did,
would have got less
I mean,
picks.
I think at this point, the Thunder's whole thing is just drafting and rebuilding their team.
Yeah.
So
I know,
could
but
see
still,
why.
like,
Wasn't
it's
it
very
like 7
impressive.
draft picks?
And at the same time, I'm not. I don't know. When people say like, "Oh, the Clippers gave up too much for Paul George," or the Lakers gave too much for Anthony Davis, just shut up, okay? They got Paul George and Anthony. They each got who they wanted. Like they're both championship contenders. Like who
And
cares?
both
the
of their
picks?
teams are working out.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't really lose out on that much.
What they did was
Sure, they won't have draft picks, but, like, dude, they're
worst
trying
case
to win
scenario.
a
Both the
championship.
Clippers and Lakers don't have picks until 2026, and they'll just be in a death race.
That's 7 years.
Yeah. So we're
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta agree. So most improved team they think is the Lakers. Agree or
Absolutely.
disagree?
Absolutely agree. There's no, I don't think there's any denying that because you're taking a team that didn't make the playoffs, that didn't have depth, that was all full of, other than like 3 veterans, like a lot of young players.
People in
Now
like
they
their
have-
first and second year. Yeah.
Yeah, and now they have, Kuzma he's like one of their newest players. They built a lot of depth, and they went from a team that didn't make the playoffs to championship contenders. I will say people thought they were contenders last year, but there was still a lot of uncertainty because LeBron didn't really have any other options on that team. Now he's got Danny Green on the wings. Now he's got AD to run the pick and roll. He's got Kyle Kuzma, who's a sharpshooter. He's got a lot of options.
Yeah, I gotta agree. The Lakers completely rebuild themselves, and now, they were already supposed to be contenders last year, but it didn't work out that way. I think it's just, I gotta agree. It's the Lakers. They improved the most. They got a great bench now, and I do think their bench is a little bit overrated, but it's still solid. Like
Avery Bradley and Alex Caruso, just so you know, that's a guard pair. So just watch out. Consider this a warning.
Stop talking. Stop talking about Avery Bradley like that.
Yeah.
Alex.
I would say probably the Lakers too.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. The only thing about the Clippers is they got Kawhi and PG, but they basically kept the same.
That's why I say I wouldn't put the Clippers because they already won 48 games last year.
They're replaced. They they upgraded from Shai and Gallo to Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
And we're able to
but the
keep
rest
the
of the
team
team,
intact.
yeah, the rest of the team was
Like
basically
it's
the
literally
same.
still intact. Everyone they had
Yeah.
last year.
I think
don't
the
forget about
Lakers-
Mo Harkless.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
another
but
thing.
you know what I mean.
Off the bench,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'd say Lakers. I'd put the Jazz as a really close second.
Yeah.
But like Ethan said, you get AD. I thought Danny Green was a good signing. I do think like their depth is a bit overrated. They just have a lot of guys that were big on name in the past. They just have to come in this season and prove. If Avery Bradley, if you want Avery Bradley to be a contributor, he has to come in and prove that I'm still a good basketball
Yeah.
player. Dwight, I'm not gonna shit on them for getting Dwight. I actually thought that was a decent signing, but we'll see how he plays out.
Oh yeah, Grant really had a hard time grasping that, but I thought Dwight was easily
Grasping what?
the fact that we signed Dwight again. I think Dwight was out of him
I-
and all the other centers.
I still would have
tried out.
rather had Joakim Noah from any center that was on free agency. I would sign Joakim,
Well,
but
that's why you're wrong. But
Joker knows
you know
also
what, Max?
ugly as
Now
hell.
I hope Dwight destroys your locker room. Okay, just like 2013.
He's gonna bend Anthony Davis over and spank his cheeks.
Jesus. Hey, you know what? If it wins us games, they can do more than that. I don't care. I care about the dubs. They can do whatever they want in their
Anything
private
for the
lives.
Dubs.
Oh yeah. If a Larry O'Brien trophy was like, if the only sacrifice for that was more ass spanking in the locker room, I would absolutely take
Throw
that.
away the whole episode now. My God.
So they also said the best defensive player in the NBA is Kawhi Leonard. I agree. I feel like I agree. Do you guys agree?
I mean, like I said, I think Rudy Gobert is probably just still the most impactful deep defender in the league, just because of how big he is and how well he protects the paint. But I mean, if you told me Kawhi's the best defender in the NBA, I'm not gonna argue with you. He's clearly the best perimeter defender, guard the best wing on the opposing team day in, day out. So I mean, I'm not gonna disagree with that.
Max?
I mean, you can easily make a case for Rudy Gobert, Anthony Davis, but I mean, I'm not gonna like he said, I'm not gonna completely disagree. It's just there's other guys you can put in there and see where they're coming from.
It's debatable.
Yeah.
I don't think you could say Kawhi's clearly.
Best defensive player is definitely probably the most debatable topic.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
the most debatable category.
Exactly.
So who's the best head coach? Greg Popovich. Do you guys disagree? Probably not. Do you guys think he's the best head
all-time
coach?
best coach in the
No,
NBA?
no,
no,
right
right
now,
now.
right now.
Right now? I mean, wouldn't it just be my coach of the year pick?
You know what? Yeah, I'll say it's not Greg Popovich.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. I think Doc Rivers is, because if you look what team had more talent
Someone
last
give
year?
me an aspirin or something.
The Spurs or Clippers? Who had a better roster last year? Popovich had DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge to work with.
But that's it.
Okay, yeah. Who else? Besides Derek White.
Doc Rivers just had a bunch of solid guys. I think you can make the case last season Doc Rivers did a better coaching job than anybody, but
I think-
if you
No,
want to say,
I
if
think
Greg
their
Popovich
vote
had
is-
the Clippers, they would have gone further.
you telling me they would have beat the Spurs? No, they wouldn't have seeded high. The Spurs won 48 games, and so did the Clippers.
Oh, yeah, okay. But I think
Who do
But
you
again,
think
I'm not
is the
going to
best
argue. You
coach?
want to say Greg Popovich, go ahead.
yeah, Greg Popovich maybe.
Coach Vo.
No, I'm not gonna say.
Nope.
it. He's very good. I think he's maybe top 5, obviously, but I don't know about the top.
Vo?
Yeah,
Top 5 coach in the league?
for this year.
I think he's a fine coach. If you want to say that, I'm sure.
Top 5 coach this year?
This year,
No,
let me think about that.
that's a damn lie.
Mike Malone.
That's not a lie. That's
no,
my
it is
bad.
a lie.
He's gonna look better because
Wait,
his
wait.
team is stacked.
Mike Malone, Quinn Snyder, Doc Rivers, Greg Popovich, Mike Budenholzer.
Brad Stevens,
Nick
your
Nurse.
coach of the year.
Okay, that's like 2 guys. That's like.
I feel like
all right, whatever. All right, fine,
whatever.
fine.
Coach Vo's a fine coach. That's what he is. Go ahead.
He's pretty good.
He's alright.
All right, most promising young core, Pelicans.
Pelicans.
Pretty obvious. Best pure shooter, Steph Curry. Do you guys disagree with that?
I
Oh,
wouldn't
pure
disagree,
shooter.
but when Clay's on fire, this is better than Steph sometimes.
Yeah, but
When
I just think
Clay gets it rolling.
I think just when they mean by best pure shooter is
Yeah.
just he's the most consistent, and
was
Clay.
Clay second on the list?
I would have.
If he's
to
not
check.
second, then that's what I
Let me
would
find
disagree
it
with
right
on this
now.
list.
He was second on which player would you want to take the shot at in like when the game's on the line. Hold on, let me find it. God, where is it? I know it's here
Yeah,
somewhere.
Clay's second, JJ's third.
Okay, that's what. Oh yeah, here we go. I
Yeah.
scrolled past. Yeah,
would
yeah.
you
I
say,
don't
Steph?
disagree. I think. I don't know. Clay hasn't put up the numbers Steph Curry has, so I can't disagree with that.
He did have 60 points with no dribbles, though. That was a crazy stat.
Yeah. So, most athletic, they voted Zion.
I'm not gonna disagree with that.
Yeah, I just think he.
It's just
Well,
his
the way
injuries.
he moves. Yeah.
That's the only thing holding him back is the
Yeah,
injuries.
and then best leader was Damian Lillard.
I'd say Jokic for that one.
Really?
I'd
I mean,
say-
I think he's a leader, but
I don't know. It's hard for me to judge best leader.
yeah.
I would have to say Jokic. I think just the way Jokic facilitates the ball and I mean, he's the leader of that team. That team did very well. I think it's not, surprising to say
That's
that
true,
they
but they did lose
overperformed.
to Lillard, though. The Nuggets did lose to the Blazers, though.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
I think
I
just
don't know.
overall, I'd
That's so
say
hard to
Jokic.
judge
Yeah.
best leader because I don't think. I mean, I
A
don't
leader
know.
can be a lot of things,
Yeah,
Chris Paul got some votes.
that is.
Jeez.
That's not right at all.
Well, Chris Paul did very well when Harden was off the floor.
Yeah,
But again,
that
being a
doesn't- he
leader, I
didn't
think,
lead his
goes
team.
beyond stats.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
it goes way beyond stats. I mean, if your team's bad, then you're not a good leader.
That's why
Kyrie Irving.
I'd probably say Giannis.
Kyrie
leader.
Irving was a terrible leader.
Yeah, best leader. What are you saying?
No, don't ever talk to me like that. Anyways, so today was the deadline for extensions before the season starts, and we saw a few players get their mid-season extensions.
Lord.
So I want you guys to get your whiteboards out again.
I never put it away.
All right, and we're gonna start with Jaylen Brown. Do you think he was overpaid, underpaid, or paid the right price? He was signed a 4-year, $115 million contract extension.
I think there's a good chance I'm gonna have the same answer for every one of these signings.
All right, hold
Yep.
it up.
Overpaid.
Overpaid.
I'm sorry, Jalen. I don't know what the front office is doing.
They
They're
paid you too much.
They're paying him on past performance.
But what has he really done though?
I don't know.
What is he even in the playoffs? Was he worth that much?
Even
Probably
when they
not.
had that run to the Eastern Conference Finals, it wasn't Jaylen Brown doing stuff. It was Terry Rozier and Jason Tatum. I just think completely overpaid. Such a waste of money for the Celtics. After he said he wouldn't mind playing this year to get more money.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what if he went off? What if he goes off this season and the contract looks like a steal?
Very unlikely in that
Very
case. Then it
unlikely,
works
yeah.
out, but I mean, he's not the number one option.
Yeah.
You
All
got-
right, so Bradley Beal got 2 years for $72 million. What do you guys think? Overpaid, underpaid, or paid the right price?
Oops. All right.
What are you doing?
This dude, man,
All right, hold your boards up.
just fine.
I think everyone
Yeah.
can agree he got
Right.
paid the right
The
amount.
price is right.
Wasn't he like all NBA last year?
I'm not sure. I don't think he was.
Well,
Maybe.
It's probably in the discussion.
I don't
but
know. He's definitely not.
Yeah.
He's definitely not underpaid. I don't know. You can make the case.
I think he's paid. I
overpaid.
think he's paid the right price.
Again, I still think there's probably only 5 to 7 players that truly deserve a max. But
Yeah, but-
I'll just say for Bradley Beal, it's right.
Yeah, based on how the NBA economy works.
Yeah,
I think for Bradley Beal.
fix that, Adam Silver.
Yeah, it really needs to happen because
they're forcing teams to give.
Pascal
max.
Siakam got a 4-year, $130 million max contract, overpaid, underpaid, or right price. All right.
Over for me.
Way
The
overpaid.
price is right. I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
Okay,
Price is
you have
Why
to
do you think the price is right, though, Max?
Well, he is now the face of the Raptors. Oh, him and Kyle Lowry, but he is now the go-to guy for shooting. I think he's going to have a great season. This is obviously just me speculating. It's not based off actual stats, so, there's only so much you can go off. But I think he's worth it because he's going to make another leap this year. I think he's going to be averaging points in the 20s. His rebounds will go over 7 instead of, just under. Assists might go up, too. I think his defensive stats might go up as well. But overall, he's going to do a lot better this year.
And also, what else are the Raptors going to do? I mean, they have to give him the max. You're hoping that he takes that leap. So.
I just think that to pay someone who was basically a nobody until this year, and he wasn't an all-star. He won Most Improved, which I'll give him credit for, definitely. But
yeah, but a most improved player shouldn't make you eligible for a max contract.
That's ridiculous. But anyways, the next person is Domantas Sabonis. He signed a contract today for 4 years, $77 million. I think we all agree the price is right.
Price is right.
The man's a
Price is
beast.
right.
He's only making $20 million. That's good for a double-double.
Not
machine.
even. That's a little less than 20 million.
Yeah,
I think
like
that's like 19 and a
19.5.
quarter. Or
Let me just
something.
say, if you're playing fantasy, pick up Sabonis.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. And then the last contract that was signed today, which had a lot of background noise going on, Buddy Hield. He said that he wanted a contract that was respectable, but wasn't asking for like a close to a max contract, but he was asking for like 25 mil a year. And then they offered him like 4 years for 80 mil at first,
80.
right?
No, it was 4 years, 90. But I think the new deal now is 4 years,
yeah,
86.
he thought it was disrespectful and that they, what was it? God, why can't I think? They said, he said it was like a insult or whatever, that he was disrespected by the contract.
Such an insult.
And today signed a 4-year, $96 million contract. And that during that Kings warm up game or whatever, he showed the GM the money sign. He was going like this to him. I was like,
yeah,
Jesus,
dude, that is not the best way to handle the situation. But I think for what he's done, I think
we all have different answers this time.
Yeah.
Really, I have overpaid. I think that he hasn't done enough to earn a contract like that. And I know he wasn't eligible for the max, but I don't think he should have been anywhere near it. And I know how the NBA economy works, but I just don't think I don't think he deserves that much money.
I just say it's right because it is. I think it's 86 million guaranteed with incentives. Correct.
Yeah.
So I mean, if he produces and gets those incentives, good for him. But I think 4 years for 86 mil for what he's done. I mean, last year was the first time you could say he had a really productive year, and the Kings didn't even make the playoffs. So I mean, I'd say it's right. I guess 4 years, 86.
So
Max, you said it was underpaid.
I said he was underpaid, right? But for a very specific reason. I think I'm just going off of what he gets guaranteed, which is 86 million. I think that's worth it.
Yeah.
He got 4 million less guaranteed than what they wanted to give him in the first place. But I mean, I think the incentives thing is really good. That's a good chance for him to live up to the hype that he thinks he can live up to. And even then, I mean, in that case, the price is right. But if he just gets the guaranteed money, then they're underpaying him. But also the Kings got to get they got to get it together because they're giving contracts out like crazy. There's no,
Yeah.
I don't blame Buddy Hield for wanting that money.
Yeah. No.
But,
Sacramento's not going to attract any free agents with cap space, but I mean that doesn't mean you have to go out and just hand these like.
If you're Sacramento, you have to you have to like
what was
decide
Corey
though.
Joseph's deal though? I think Corey Joseph got I have to search that up.
No, but like here's the thing. Also, like if you're Sacramento, first of all, De'Aaron Fox is going to start demanding more money when his contract is up.
Yeah.
So you have to, and you're not exactly a high seeding playoff team even with the core that you have. Even fast forward another 2 years, you're gonna have to find a way to get people. You're gonna have to find a way to free up cap space because they're just handing out money like crazy.
They are, but yeah, right. They're basically cap strapped. I mean, De'Aaron Fox is gonna get his deal, and they're not gonna have much room to improve.
Exactly, and you can't trade Harrison Barnes off of that deal. Buddy Hield,
Corey Joseph
maybe.
got 3 years, $37 million.
What is that? That's
Then Dwayne Dedmon got what? 3 years, 40.
Yeah,
I think
the
Dwayne
Kings
Dedmon
are not
is-
spending money on the right people, and I think it's partly due to they're such a small market team.
Yeah, but I just
but they still have to devote something. To
that's
Yeah.
true.
the
But I
possibility
don't
of free
understand why
agents.
teams just don't preserve their cap space instead of just giving out. These,
Yeah,
like,
I saw
massive-
something I saw today on some like basketball Instagram account or whatever. I'm not sure how reliable this is, but the Heat are like clearing up their salary cap so next summer they can pursue
the summer after that.
or the summer of 2021
Yeah.
they can pursue people like Giannis and LeBron.
Yeah.
So if they are doing something like that, I think that's very smart of them.
Yeah, but also you look at how the Brooklyn Nets rebuilt. Like they didn't have any picks, so what they did is they just acquired bad contracts. Teams wanted to get off, and they got first rounders in return. So I think that's what teams should look for instead of just spending money on just players.
Yeah,
Like,
'cause
preserve your
the
cap
Nets
space
the
in the
Nets
game.
completed the rebuild. They just
Yeah.
need
But
But
Kevin
the thing
Durant
is, the
to
Nets
come back.
were rebuilding. Sacramento isn't rebuilding. So, and they're very close to a playoff spot.
Are they though?
They are.
Are they that much better than
They're,
Dallas? Are
they're-
they that much better?
No,
than...
no. But they're a couple pieces away. If they save that cap room, maybe for, a lottery pick, a couple picks, maybe a decent,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
I
a
could see it.
decent
I
player.
could see it happening.
I don't see them getting an 8 seed like in the next 3 years, to be honest.
Damn.
I
mean,
could see it. Just depending
Yeah,
on how
no,
free
I think
agency
the West
goes.
got to there's no I don't think they'll be even as good as the
Yeah.
Mavs. They won't be good as the
Yeah.
Pelicans or Spurs. I just
But I think they're heading in the right direction.
yeah, I think they just need to get one more big player. I think if they had one more big player on their team, then they make the playoffs
Yeah.
last year, but yeah, I just don't think that. Yeah, I just they're like whatever.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we are going to get into, because I forgot to do this earlier, our playoff predictions.
Oh.
Like
Conference finals and finals.
Okay.
So I think that
I didn't really.
the Western.
Well, take it off the top of your head, man.
Yeah, I'll take it
I
off
think
the
the
top.
Western Conference Finals is gonna be between the Lakers and Clippers, and I think the Eastern Conference Finals is gonna be the 76ers and Bucks, and then I think the Clippers beat the Bucks to win the finals.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I have my Western Conference coming down to both the LA teams. And I do have the Clippers moving on to the finals. I just think their talent's better. They're deeper. And I know you guys don't agree, but I think in that playoff series, I think Kawhi will be the best player out of Paul George, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. So I have the
I
Clippers
could see that
going.
happening. I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Max
it's
might.
so,
No, I mean, I'm trying to remain objective. I hate that you said that, but I'm not going to totally disagree with it.
Just don't say you have a better bench, and I'm fine. All you Laker fans out there saying you have a better bench, just
No, that's not true.
Alex Caruso.
yeah. Yeah, and
The bald mamba.
obviously the Bucks and Sixers. Man, I'm probably gonna choose the Sixers, but it's so weird. I just think they're so weird because Tobias is gonna be moved to the small forward because Horford's there, but I think Tobias is more of a stretch 4, and I think Horford's more of a 5. but now he's gonna be moved to the 4 because of Embiid. Like they have the talent, but like there's the starting lineup is like kind of congested, and it's just weirdly put together. Like I don't know. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks beat them in a playoff series. I'd probably just choose the Sixers just because I think their talent is that much better. Though I think Budenholzer would be the best coach in that series, obviously.
Yeah,
No
Brett Brown,
doubt.
I don't think is a good coach.
Yeah, I don't think he's like, obviously not an elite one.
I think he's good just because he had a lot to deal with last season with trades.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for that, you got to give him props.
yeah.
I don't know where this whole thing of like he might get fired came out of. But
Nah. If the Sixers don't make at least the conference finals this year, he's out. And
Yeah.
it might
Yeah.
even be if they don't even make the finals, he's out. Even if they make the conference finals, I could see a scenario where it's like, okay, this guy's not our guy. Especially if they get beat up by the Bucks like bad, like 4-1 or like 4-2.
yeah, they're gonna have to. I mean, they're gonna really have to think about it. Though,
Yeah,
before they
and
fire
to
him.
finish off the playoffs, I believe Kawhi will win his 3rd championship and 3rd Finals MVP with a 3rd different team.
Can you believe the nerve of this guy? All right, so
Max has
And
the
Ty
Lakers
LeBron
winning
and
the
rings in
finals.
Finals MVP. Go ahead, Max.
I think the West will probably
Just
boil
get the
down.
bias out of the way.
Anthony Davis and LeBron will share the Finals MVP.
Oh
no,
my
I'm just kidding. I'm just
God.
kidding. I think the West will boil down to the Lakers and the Clippers. Obviously, I said the Lakers and the Clippers would be 2nd and 3rd, so that's not possible. But I think if not that matchup, then maybe Utah.
I do think at the bottom line, though, both LA teams are going to be by far the 2 best teams in the Western Conference come playoff
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So the West is a little.
It depends on the seeding, but if they can, there will be them in the Western Conference
Yeah.
Finals.
And then in the East, I have the Bucks and the Sixers. No surprise there, except I have the Bucks
Yeah,
beating
so
them.
everyone has the final 4 teams the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd say the Bucks will beat them just because the Bucks surrounded their. I mean, somehow the Bucks were a 60-win team last season, and they only got better this season.
Did
Yes,
they
they
get
lost. They lost Malcolm Brogdon, but now
They
they
also
have.
lost Mirotic.
That's true, but they still have some really valuable pieces. They got, I think Wesley Matthews. I think was a really good pickup,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that was a solid pickup for them.
and then as well as you got Splash Mountain and Thunder Mountain with Brooke Lopez and Robin Lopez. That's their nickname now, right? No. But for real though, I think
It
Brooke
should
Lopez
just
is.
be Twin Towers.
Yeah, it's true.
Whatever, that doesn't matter.
I mean,
Yeah.
it might, I mean, the Eastern Conference Finals might just come down to who has the better jump shot, Ben Simmons or Giannis.
I'm down for that.
So,
In which case, it would be Giannis.
I guess
but-
we'll see.
But,
Well, I
no,
mean,
but
we'll
anyways,
see,
but
huh?
also the Sixers, I think, have a really top-heavy lineup.
yeah, their depth
Yeah.
is not well. They're just a top heavy
They've
team.
lost a lot. Like that's why I have the Bucks making the finals because I think their bench is. I think they're a more well-rounded
Yeah,
team.
JJ
but-
was a loss.
JJ was a tough loss.
Like
Jimmy
their
Butler. I know.
man is Mike Scott.
Yeah, that's bad. He has all the freaking emoji tattoos.
Yeah,
Your sixth
and-
man should not be someone with the emoji tattoos.
Shout
No,
out
but
Mike Scott. He was
they-
a beast.
Yeah, but no, but I originally had the Sixers going to the finals because their starting 5 was really solid. But then I took a look at their bench, and yeah, in the playoffs, it's like your first 5 guys. Like your starting 5 plays ridiculous minutes, but like the Bucks can rest their starting 5, and their bench can keep
And
up
still,
with
like, hold it down,
Yeah,
yeah.
they'll still hold it down, and then their starting 5 comes in fully rested. I mean, the Sixers just don't have the depth that they did last year, but they have, I think, one of the best starting 5s in the league.
I don't even think they had that much depth last year either.
They had enough to be able to hold it down, and
I'm trying to
obviously
think who was on that bench. It was still Mike Scott.
For
Amir
the
Johnson.
76ers.
Yeah.
TJ McConnell.
it was just I think they had a lot more people. I mean, JJ,
Yeah, he's a
JJ
starter,
was the
though.
starter though.
who was on the bench?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, you're right, but I don't know.
They're just
I
top
still think-
heavy.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think this year they're even more top heavy
Like
than
I
they were
said, I'm
last
just
year.
Yeah.
choosing Philadelphia because of the talent. But if the Bucks win, I wouldn't be like. Oh,
So do you have the
really?
Bucks over the Baker? Oh, Jesus. Do you have the Lakers over the Bucks in the finals?
I never chose who's gonna win the conference finals in the West.
yeah,
I don't know.
Don't assume Ethan.
I mean, just looking at the rosters, the Clippers have a better roster, but like of course, between those two, anything can go. And I think you have to just say, like, anything can
I'm not
go.
gonna say the Clippers.
So
are,
would you guys agree that the winner of the Western Conference is gonna win the finals? Because
Yeah.
I feel like that's
depends what
yeah.
team comes out the West.
and how many games. Which it'll probably go to like a game 6
Well-
or 7, I think.
If any of the LA teams come out, I think they'll win the chip.
yeah,
For
that's
sure.
what I meant. If either of the LA teams come out of the West, they're probably winning the finals.
Yeah. But if
Listen,
the Clippers make it to the finals, I want to see Milwaukee win that. I really do. I
course
want to
you do,
see.
'cause you're a
I just
hater.
want.
Oh, you
No,
want to
I'm not
see
a hater. I
Giannis?
just really
you want
wanna
to see
see-
Giannis
I
get
really
his
wanna
revenge
see
on
Giannis win a
I
Kawhi.
really want to
championship.
see Giannis hold that.
You wouldn't want Kawhi to tie LeBron in chips and Finals MVPs.
Why would I? Why? No,
no, I'm just
That's
saying.
that's tough.
I used to because I liked Kawhi for a while, but now I just you're dead to me. He's just dead to me.
Hey, it's not my fault.
I'm not.
I
It's not
believe
your
the
fault.
sources.
You were just born
Anyways.
this way.
We're gonna get into our last segment of the show, and this is our very first edition of Cap and No
Yes.
Cap. And if you guys don't know what that means, if I say I'm going to go play basketball, and then my friend says that's cap, that means they can't go to play basketball. So it's kind of the opposite. So cap means no, no cap means yes.
No
So,
cap means agree.
yeah,
Cap means
whatever.
disagree. Yeah.
Anyways, so my first statement for you guys is LeBron is still the best player in the NBA.
Cap.
That's a bit of a cap.
Yeah, that's cap.
I don't. Yeah. Okay.
And
Wait, so you agree he's not?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
No, I say.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he's not.
Oh, okay.
he's not the best player in the NBA.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't.
Max's answer got me confused that I got no cap and cap mixed up. I
Oh.
thought,
Well,
Like-
after a while,
like-
it's just so hard to decide between the two, between Kawhi, AD, and LeBron. I just can't
Giannis.
decide.
Giannis.
Oh yeah, him too.
He's only
Whatever.
the MVP. Who's Giannis?
Yeah, whoever.
I just think I know LeBron averaged 27, 8, and 8 last year, but I mean,
He
I
doesn't
just-
have the impact, and I'm not gonna shit on him for that. But like, he
yeah,
just-
he's still the goat of our generation,
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
He
But
doesn't have the impact. He's taken like 1% down, but that's all. You know.
Yeah. All right, so my next one is
Still good.
Brett Brown will be fired after the season. I say no cap.
same.
I
That's a
think
cap.
I think if Brett Brown, and there was already rumors after the playoff last year, if Brett Brown can't get to 76ers to the finals, I think he's gone.
I think if, like I said, Eastern Conference Finals, maybe,
Maybe.
but I think if he got to the Conference Finals, he'd probably.
I think the
keep his job.
76ers have been rebuilt for a couple years, and I think their goal has and will be to make and win the finals. And I
Yeah.
just don't think, I think that if he doesn't make the finals, which for my predictions, I don't have them making the finals, I just think he'll be fired after the year.
I just don't think. I mean, he's going to make the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that's going to be a battle. I just don't see why that's a reason that you would want. You made it past another
It also,
round.
yeah, it also
you know?
depends who becomes available. Who knows what coach could become available? But I'm just saying, if there's someone that's clearly better, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. So the next one is the Pacers can win in the East without Victor Oladipo.
When you say win, do you mean just make the playoffs or?
Just
Like, do you like?
uh,
What do you mean? Like, just make the playoffs?
like the Pacers can be, I'll say, like a top 3 team and make and have a deep run in the playoffs
Without
Oladipo.
Cap.
Yeah,
Well, also they're gonna by the playoffs they will have Oladipo.
I know, but just in general.
Like I
Cap,
said,
yeah,
I
I
think there'll
think
be a
it's just
6
cap.
seed with Oladipo out. If he gets back come playoff time, though, that's not a team you want to face if you're a top seed.
Yeah. And next
yeah.
one is the NBA should get rid of conferences and the 16 teams with the best record make it.
No cap. No cap.
I gotta say, that's cap.
Cap a little.
No cap.
I feel like it's partly just because I'm used to watching sports. Everything is divided up, but I just feel like
Yeah, like
if we did that, it would be so many teams from the West making the playoffs, and then a few teams from the East.
but that's
Yeah,
only for right now though.
Yeah, but also,
know,
I mean,
but I
you
just
gotta
think
look,
that-
who'd you rather see in the playoffs? The Pelicans or the Pistons? Would you rather see the Dallas Mavericks or the Orlando
I
Magic
really
in
like
the
Blake
playoffs?
Griffin, so I know.
Shout out Blake
yeah.
Griffin.
And then the next one, Draymond Green came out and said in an interview about Marquise Chris that you shouldn't be blamed, that not all the blame should go on the player, and that a lot of organizations need to take more responsibility. So do you guys think he is right
No
in saying
No
that?
cap.
No cap.
That's
It's-
a no cap statement.
There have been
Okay.
so many. I mean, there are like Greg Oden is an exception. That was injuries, but I just think that so many teams are the reason for players not becoming successful,
Yeah.
especially when you put. I mean, it's not
Especially
like
with Marquise Chris case. He's on Phoenix.
yeah, and they're
Other than Booker, their last like 5 first-round picks, Dragon Bender, Marquise Chris.
DeAndre Ayton's good.
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton, but I'm just saying in
Yeah,
general the Suns
yeah.
they're a bad run franchise.
They're definitely the worst run franchise in the West, and I think maybe the only other team that's run worse than them is probably the Hornets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also
I
like
think the Cavs.
young players have.
I think the Cavs are okay.
They,
I just
they,
think
they
they're
just got lucky
rebuilt.
LeBron was from Cleveland.
Yeah,
If
I
LeBron
know.
wasn't from Cleveland, he would never have worn a Cavs
the
uniform.
Cavs would never
But
do
also-
anything.
Young players have like they're emotionally more vulnerable than older players, and so everything, and they're teenagers, they're young adults, and it just every little bit of criticism is reflected that much more.
Yeah, I know.
A
It's just-
seasoned vet knows how to take criticism a lot better than. second
Yeah,
or third year.
definitely. Yeah, I agree. Is there anything else you guys would like to add? I think that might be it.
Do you want to talk?
Thank you for having us on again.
Yeah.
It's been fun, Alex. I'll see
Yeah.
you in the conference finals or next week. Whichever
Yeah.
comes first.
All right, guys, that's a wrap for this show. Thank you for tuning in. A big shout out to Chris Cope for directing the show. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Contested Sports Podcast, or I think it's Contested Sport 1, just because it cut off. But anyways, follow us for updates between the shows where you can chime in with your own predictions and opinions. Look for our next podcast about a week after the season starts. We are filming this the day before opening day for the NBA.
Before
Yes,
you
sir.
want to end it, you want to give out some who you think's gonna win?
What are the two games? It's Lakers and Clippers,
And
right?
Pelicans and
And Raptors.
Raptors.
I think
I think the Raptors pull it out.
I think Raptors and Lakers. I think the Clippers aren't winning because PG isn't there.
Oh God. Okay, whatever.
What?
I might. Say,
Am I wrong? I think the Lakers would probably win.
I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Okay.
Kuzma's out.
Yeah, man. Kuzma's out.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers
Really?
win. Like I could see a scenario where it's like LeBron, like, hey, I'm still LeBron, and he has one of those big games.
Yeah.
So
It's up for grabs, really.
yeah,
So who do you guys think is gonna win?
Raptors, and it's up for grabs.
I'm just gonna say Clippers. I'm a Clipper fan.
Lakers.
Just say Lakers because
Yeah,
you're a
no,
Laker
yeah,
fan. It
Lakers.
is what it is.
All right. I want to thank Max Tepper and Alex Toma for joining me on the first edition of this podcast. And remember, if there's anything you
Second
guys
edition.
disagree with us on, go ahead and contest it. See you guys next time.